sigma level is nothing but you imagine the upper specification limit, you imagine the average, that is the mean. Okay. So upper specification limit, for example, if the biscuit weight is 9 to 11, what is the upper specification limit? Suppose we want the biscuits to weigh between 9 to 11. What is the upper specification limit? 11 is the upper specification limit. Okay. Now what do we want X bar to be? 10, the average weight to be 10. Okay, very clear. Okay. Now you see upper specification limit is 11. Okay. The X bar is 10. What is the difference? Difference is 1. Okay. Now, suppose I want a 6 sigma level. Okay. How many standard deviation? What should be the standard deviation so that ZU is 6? We know USL minus X bar is 1. How much should be the standard deviation? It should be 1 over 6. If that is the standard deviation, then you will get 6 sigma level. Or in other words, if that is not the standard deviation, okay, then whatever number that comes is the number of standard deviation between upper specification limit and the mean. Let me just show you with the same example what I showed here. If you see in this graph, if you have 6 standard deviation inside this between the upper specification, lower specification limit, then you will get 6 sigma capability. Okay. So I wanted to leave with formula at least today. Okay. And next class, I will do in an Excel some practical examples. So for you to calculate the 6 sigma level, we need to take the minimum of this. I'll tell you why minimum also. Okay. Upper specification limit minus the average or mean, or average minus lower specification limit divided by whatever the data gives us standard deviation. Okay. That will show how many standard deviation is fitting between the average and the specification limit. That will show the number of standard deviation that is fitting between the average and the specification limit, whether it is low specification limit or upper specification limit. And that is called sigma level. Basically, the number of standard deviations that is able to fit between the specification limit and the average is called as a sigma level. Okay. Similarly, for process capability, we wanted actually, we are finding out, we are dividing the same thing with 3 standard deviations. Okay. Why this also is something that I'll explain in the next class. And I will practically give you these examples. In the next class, don't miss it. Okay. I'll give you all this in the Excel sheet. I'll say lower specification limit is 600, upper is 650, the average is 625, standard deviation is 10. Let us calculate sigma level and process capability. Okay. Similarly, the same lower and upper specification limit and average, but standard deviation earlier was 10, but now it is 5. What will happen to sigma level and CP? I'll tell you how it changes in the Excel sheet. Okay. And also, I will also tell you if the specification limits changes, but average remains the same and standard deviation remains the same, what will happen to the graph and what will happen to the sigma level and process capability ratio. Okay. And similarly, if specification limits remains the same, but average shifts, but standard deviation is the same, what will happen to the sigma level and what will happen to the process capability ratio? That is something that I'll show you in the next session.